team, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be giving you my TBR for Smutathon and also Camp Weekend-Ween. Now, Smutathon is hosted by Riley and Lainey, and Camp Weekend-Ween is hosted by Gabby and Olivia. I will leave everybody linked in the description box down below so you can go and check them out. But I'm really excited. These two have ended up overlapping ever so slightly. Camp Weekend-Ween is hosted on next weekend, which is the weekend of Halloween. Yes, so Smutathon goes from the 25th to the 31st, while Camp Weekend-Ween goes from the 29th to the 31st. So I thought I'd combine my TBRs for both, and these are two entirely different TBRs right now, which I'm excited about. So I am gonna do let's do Smutathon first, because you know it's the whole week, but most of my books that I've picked for Smutathon are like Kindle Limited books, so let's go through those. I don't know the synopsis of a lot of these off the top of my head, and this is just a very rough estimate of what my TBR is going to look like. It could change entirely. These are just some books that I am interested in getting to. So first of all, the buddy read for Smutathon is A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, which sounds really interesting, and I am keen on reading, so we'll see if I get to this one or not. But it says, on the brink of losing her position as a maiden with no prospects to go on, the offer of a place at Rooksgrave Manor, a house of ill and unusual repute, sounds like a perfect fit for a young woman with Esther's inclinations. Even better, the invitation comes by the hand of the handsome Dr. Underwood, a delicate gentleman who with a ferocious alter ego who knows exactly what he wants from Esther. Upon arrival, the men in the daily decadence of the manor feel too good to be true for a girl of Esther's station. There are rules to be followed, expectations to meet, and Esther is afraid she might be too wicked even for a place like Rooksgrave. Temptations lurk around every shadowy corner, and Esther has never been a girl to be able to resist. But the risk of disappointing her new gentleman isn't all that's threatening Esther's new position. Rooksgrave Manor's protections for its unusual patrons are failing, and the wards are crumbling, and Esther's new and exquisitely pleasurable life may all come tumbling down. It sounds really good. So that is the buddy read for the readathon, and you will get a bingo with that across the second line. But then a couple of other books that I am interested in are mostly novellas, so we'll see whether or not I get to these as well. I've got Trick by Shea Sanders. This is an erotic novella, and there is also Treat alongside this one as well. This one's 30 pages, I think Treat's about 40, and the only description I've got for Trick is Dennard and Tyra go on a date that doesn't quite go as planned, but that was the plan all along. So there's that one. Very plain and simple. And then I've got Games We Play by Dana Isley. Don't know how you pronounce that, my apologies. This is only 90 pages, and this says, Jack is a faceless gamer known as the Joker. He makes a living playing video games and using his gravelly voice to bring people's sexual fantasies to life. When the top gaming site on the West Coast sends someone out to interview him, Quinlan walks in with her auburn curls and thick curves, and they're instantly drawn to each other. Quinlan has no idea of the monster that lurks beneath the surface of his calm demeanour. Jack is quicksand, pulling her down into the dark underbelly of his desires. To get out unscathed, she needs to give in to the hunger she's always tried to deny. So again, that one sounds pretty good. And then we also have Gothichana, which I've heard a few people mentioning recently, but Ashley has mentioned this one to me as well, so I'm really interested in this one. And this is by Runix, and it's a dark academic gothic romance, which sounds awesome. But it is 456 pages, and I don't tend to read books that long on my Kindle, so we'll see if I get to it or not. But the description for this one is an unusual girl, an enigmatic man, an ancient castle, what could go wrong? An outcast her entire life, Corvina Clem is left adrift after losing her mother. When she receives the admission letter from a mysterious university in Vernamore, she accepts it as a sign from the universe. The last thing she expects, though, is an olden, secluded castle on the top of a mountain riddled with secrets, deceit and death. An enigma his entire life, Vad Deverell likes being a closed book, but knows exactly everything that happens in the university. A part-time professor working on his thesis, Vad has been around long enough to know the dangers the castle possesses, and he knows the moment his paths cross with Corvina, she's dangerous to everything that he is. They shouldn't have caught each other's eye, they cannot be, but a chilling-inducing century-old mystery forces them to collide. People have disappeared every 5 years for over 100 years, and Corvina is getting clues to unravelling it all, and Vad needs to keep an eye on her. And so begins a tale of the mystique, the morbid, the macabre, and deep love that blossoms in the unlikeliest of places. Nice. That sounds really, really good. And then finally, another book that is on my radar. I don't know again whether I'll get to it because I'm in a bit of a flat fantasy slump at the moment, but we'll see. But one that is on my radar and is not a novella is Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerry Maniscalco. This is a fantasy romance. In the first one, Kingdom of the Wicked, I believe that this one is a lot more smuttier, so that's why I've picked it up for this, possibly. But in Kingdom of the Wicked, we are following our main character, whose name is Amelia, and her sister, her twin sister's gone missing, and it turns out she's been killed, and she ends up accidentally summoning the prince, one of the princes of hell, who is Prince Wrath, to help, and asks him to help her try and find out what happened to her sister. And we just kind of carry on the story from there. I really loved Kingdom of the Wicked, so I'm really excited for Kingdom of the Curse. I know that Jodie's read this recently and absolutely loved it, so I'm very, very excited indeed. So that's another possibility, but I don't know. All of these are just possibilities at this point. We'll see what happens. But yeah, those are some of the books that I am interested in for Smutathon. However, for Camp Weekend-Ween, I do have a little bit more of a solid TBR. So Smutathon for me will kind of run in the week, with Camp Weekend-Ween being on the weekend, because my Weekend-Ween TBR is very different to my Smutathon TBR, as you are about to find out. So the first prompt for Camp Weekend-Ween is a book with green on the cover, and for this one I'm going to pick up The OK Witch by Emma Steinkellner. Emma Steinkellner, I think. I haven't read this one yet, and it does have green on the cover. It is a graphic novel, and I'm fairly certain it's middle grade. And this is following, this is following a 13-year-old moth, Hush, who loves all things witchy, but she's about to discover that witches aren't just the stuff of movies, books, and spooky stories. When some bullies try to ruin her Halloween, something really strange happens. Founders Bluff, Massachusetts has a centuries-old history of witch drama, and surprise, Moth's family is at the centre of it all. When Moth's new power shows up, they get totally out of control. She meets a talking cat, falls into an enchanted diary, and unlocks a hidden witch world. Secrets surface from generations past as Moth unravels the complicated legacy at the heart of her town, her family, and herself. In this spellbinding graphic novel debut, Emma spins a story packed with humour and heart about a weird and wonderful adventures of witch in progress. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I feel like it's going to be perfect for Halloween weekend, so I am hyped for this one. The next prompt is to pick a book that features a group of teens, and for this one I am going to go for The Halloween Moon by Joseph Fink. This again is perfect for Halloween weekend. It's got Halloween in it. I'm so excited. I think that this is middle grade also, and this Esther Gold loves Halloween more than anything in the world, so she's determined to go trick-or-treating again this year, even if her parents think she's officially too old. Esther has it all planned out, from her costume to her candy collecting strategy, but when the night rolls around, something feels off. No one's answering the door. The moon is an unnatural shade of orange. Strange children roam the streets wearing creepy costumes that might not be costumes at all, and it seems like the only people besides Esther who are awake to see it are her best friend, her school bully, and her grown-up next-door neighbour. Together, this unlikely crew must find a way to lift the curse that has been placed upon their small town before it's too late, because someone is out to make sure Halloween never comes to an end, and even Esther doesn't want to be trapped in this night forever. It sounds really, really good. I am taking a little bit of a risk with this one. I don't know how old Esther is specifically, but I'm going to assume she's a teen. She's with her best friend, her bully, and I know there is an adult neighbour with them, but, you know, it's a group, there's teenagers involved, but I am looking forward to this one also. Then we have a slasher, thriller or horror, and I thought I would go for a book that's been recommended by both Gabby and Olivia, and one of those is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. So I'm hyped about this one because I've only read 2 books by Riley Sager so far, and I have really enjoyed them both. I gave them both 4 stars. So on the back, this one says, 2 truths and a lie. Vivian, Natalie, Alison and Emma played it all the time at Camp Nightingale. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings. Massive canvases filled with dark, gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of a wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, Francesca implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as an art instructor. Wouldn't she like to put the past to rest? Familiar faces in the same dark lake haunt Nightingale, where Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in 15 years ago. But not everything is as it seems. The only security camera is pointed directly at Emma's door, and long hidden cryptic clues that Vivian left behind to begin to surface. Soon, Emma finds herself sorting through lies from the past while facing mysterious threats in the present. And the closer she gets to the truth about Camp Nightingale, the more she realises that closure could come at a deadly price. It sounds really, really good, and I am hyped for this one. I haven't read many books that are set at camp, so yeah, I am hyped for this one. And this one kind of leads us nicely into the final prompt as well, which I may end up doubling up with this one for, but I do have another book for, and the final prompt is to read a book that's set at camp. So this one could work for that, but also I am going to be trying to read the graphic novel Secret of Camp Whatever. I'll show a picture of it here, it's on its way to me, but this is following a group of kids, so again it could follow the group of teens prompt as well. A group of kids at camp, it's spooky, I'm not sure what else happens, but it sounds great, so I am living for it. It sounds very, very good. Another option for this one for me was going to be Lumberjanes as well, so which is another middle grade graphic novel, but it is set at camp. So I mean, my Camp Weekend-Ween TBR is kind of heavily middle grade-ish, but I'm here for it because I wanted spooky, and at the moment I'm in a fantasy slump, so I think my best bet on spooky is to go in with middle grade because it's easier to get through. But yeah, I am really looking forward to this one as well, so very hyped indeed, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a good week, I think. I'm excited about all the smut as well earlier on in the week. What a combo, smut and also middle grade. Why the heck not? So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books or if you've got recommendations for me based off of these books, and let me know if you're doing either of these readathons as well, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.